Hey, I'm Ben Trueblood, Director of Student Ministry for LifeWay, and I want to talk to you about one of the most important transitions facing your student ministry right now. So you might be thinking that I'm going to talk about virus and corona and COVID and all of those words that we use all the time right now in terms of transition because you're about to start ministry back. And while that's a part of it and it plays into it, the transition I'm actually talking about is the transition that students make from elementary school into your student ministry every single year. This is a key moment in student ministry. You know that already. And this year, it looks a little bit differently. And I think it makes this transition moment even more important for you to spend a lot of time thinking through and partnering with parents, with elementary school leaders to make sure that this moment is right. This is an opportunity for you to pastor, and I don't want you to miss it. So here are a few things on how to make sure that you tackle this moment in the right way. And the first one of those is to realize that in a normal world, this is a high anxiety time, not only for the kids, but for their parents. And often, you and I both know this, that the parents probably land on the higher anxiety moment with the elementary school to middle school transition than their kids do, but both experience it in different ways. If you have new 5th grade about to be 6th grade, or if your church does it from 6th grade to 7th grade, if there's a preteen ministry or something, if it's the first time that parents have walked through this, man, this is a great moment for you to partner with them and really pastor them through what it looks like to transition from elementary school into middle school. And I want to encourage you to slow down in this moment. Many times in student ministry, we want to move fast through everything. And even in this moment, as you prepare to launch in a really uncertain, weird fall, the tendency is going to be to push the gas pedal down and speed through everything. And I really want to encourage you to slow down and to try to personally connect with these parents. Try to make sure that they know you're with them in the midst of this. Here's what you need to realize. School is going to look different this fall. And so whatever that parent had in their mind about sending their child off to middle school and what that day would look like and what that first week would look like and what the school bus would look like and what the drop-off line would look like and all of those things that parents think about, it's going to be different than the image that they had in their mind. And it's going to be in flux for several months. The way that they start may not be the way that school is going in a few weeks or a few months from now. And so you have a unique opportunity here, student pastor, for the church to be a stabilizing, a calming influence in this very critical moment. And that's going to take you making steps to connect with them. As I said before, this is a moment that you can pastor. And so if we could get really practical for just a minute, I would like to do that. And with that foundation of this is a moment where you can pastor and the church can be a calming and stabilizing influence in families that are walking through this transition in a moment, I want you to think about the first day. I want you to think about these new 6th graders or these new 7th graders walking into your room or building or living room for home group or whatever you do in your context. And I want you to, in your mind, take the steps of that new 6th grader, of that new mom, dad, guardian. And I want you to take pen and paper and I want you to write down all of the things that you go through when you think about those first moments. How would you like to be greeted if you're the parent or the student themselves? All right. What information do they need to have before walking into your room, living room, building, whatever your context is? What would you like their new small group leader or Sunday school teacher to know before that moment happens? So you're going to have leaders, whether they've been with you for a long time or they're brand new leaders to your environment. These students are brand new. And so you're going to want to coach these leaders up on what it means to make a new middle school student feel comfortable in your environment. And that involves greeting them right away. It involves introducing them to other students in the ministry. It involves that new leader sitting down with them and asking important questions. Now, again, when I say important questions, I don't mean like diving deeply into discipleship right away. I mean important questions just to get to know them. Because here's what's going to remove a lot of those fears, and here's what's going to be the calming and stabilizing influence that you can create in your student ministry. And that's that middle school student is going to be loved and cared for and pointed to Jesus. That's what a parent's looking for. They're going to be loved, they're going to be cared for, someone's going to seek to know them, and that they're going to be pointed to Jesus. And so make sure that the leaders that have this new group of students, I mean, just think about this. They were in 5th grade at an elementary school. The difference is vast. And you throw in everything else that's happening right now, and it makes this transition so important. So take that little exercise and walk through that experience as if you were in the shoes of a parent, as if you were in the shoes of that new 6th grader, or like I've been saying, 7th grader, depending on your context. Make some notes and then take actionable steps to make sure that those notes turn into things that create a stabilizing and calming environment. Okay? The next thing that I mentioned you should do is think about the leaders connecting with those kids, right? And I want to expand that one step further. And I want to say the week after you start, and if you still have time, if you're watching this video and you start after this, then make sure those leaders are connecting with parents before they show up on that first day. But if you're watching it and you've already had that first day, make sure that your leaders are connecting and personal phone calls to those parents as well. You, as the student pastor, should also be doing that very thing in connecting personally with the parents. This is a day where instead of being behind a soundboard or in an office or running around and setting something up, this is a moment where you need to be, quote, shaking hands. Now, I know that is not as acceptable in this moment, so find another way to socially distance greet someone. But the principle exists that you should be in the hallways greeting people, smiling behind your mask if your context is that you're wearing one, but being a friendly voice and a friendly face. That simple step will go a long way to being a calming and stabilizing influence for those families that are going to be walking through a really critical transition in this moment with their new middle school student. Hey, if you're interested in more student ministry related content, I want to encourage you to go over to Student Ministry That Matters on YouTube. We've got a bunch of stuff over there for you, and I hope to see you there.